Casper and Purple, two very popular and very good mattresses, but which one is going to be right for you? It's exactly what I'm going to be telling you about today. My name is Joe, I'm from Mattress Clarity. I'm going to run through the construction of both mattresses, running these mattresses through a number of tests, telling you who should get one over the other, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Let's get started by talking about what's similar between these two mattresses. They're both very popular, have great customer service, about the same price range as well, have a similar base layer, and they're also good for multiple sleeping positions and combination sleepers as well. We know about the similarities, but what are the differences? Well, firmness differences, I put the Purple at about a 7 out of 10 and the Casper a 6 out of 10. Definitely a difference in firmness there. Materials as well, so the Casper has 4 layers. It has a soft latex-like layer over a memory foam layer, over a transition layer, over a base layer. The transition layer is also zoned. It's gonna be firmer in the middle of the mattress. So it'll be a little bit softer if you're on your side and a little bit firmer and more supportive if you're on your stomach and back. Purple has 3 layers. It has a base layer, a transition layer, and then a hyperelastic polymer material, which is unique to Purple. It's going to be flat and supportive, yet pressure relieving at the same time. Because of these material differences and firmness differences, there's going to be feel differences as well. You're going to get more of a standard kind of balanced foam feel from the Casper that mixes in memory foam and latex-like qualities. And the Purple has this unique squishy, firm, yet pressure relieving feel at the same time. Let's talk about the construction of both mattresses and see what's inside and see what the differences are. Starting with the Purple, we have 3 layers. We have a nice soft cover on top and then 3 layers, a base layer, a transition layer, and then 2 inches of their hyperelastic gel material. The way it works is different from normal foam. Let's say if you have a foam mattress, you push your hand into the mattress a little bit, it'll compress a little bit, push a little bit more, it'll compress even further. This works differently. It'll actually stay flat and supportive until a certain pressure threshold is reached. So it'll stay flat, 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 and then a certain pressure threshold is reached and then it'll collapse. So it'll be both pressure relieving and supportive at the same time. If you're on your back, for example, it'll collapse underneath your butt and stay flat and supportive across the rest of your body. If you're on your stomach, it'll stay pretty much flat across your body and be very supportive. And if you're on your side, it potentially can collapse underneath your hips and shoulders and be pressure relieving. Moving on to the Casper now, we have 12 inches in total. We have a soft latex-like layer on top, and then a memory foam layer, and then a transition layer, and then a base layer. The transition layer is zoned, so it's gonna be a little bit firmer in the middle of the mattress. So if you sleep on your side, it's gonna be a little bit softer. And then if you're on your stomach or back, it's gonna be a little bit firmer. All right, so what does that all mean and what are the main differences? Well, the number one thing you should think about is with the hyperelastic polymer gel material, you need to weigh a certain amount in order for that kind of pressure threshold to be reached. So if you're really lightweight, you sleep on your side, you may not weigh enough to get that gel to collapse. So the one case where the Purple may not be as good is if you're a light or medium weight side sleeper. That's not the case with the Casper. So they both do a good job at kind of being good for multiple sleeping positions. With the Casper, it's gonna feel a little bit softer underneath your shoulders, no matter what your weight is. So that's just kind of something to note. If you're a light or medium weight side sleeper, I would just caution you about the Purple. On back and stomach, I'll get into that a little bit later. It's definitely gonna be a good fit. And then just generally, you have a more just standard foam mattress feel from the Casper. It kind of mixes in memory foam and latex-like qualities. You'll sink in, but not too much. And then the feel of the Purple is going to be just dependent on this hyperelastic polymer material. So those are the main differences. All right, now let's talk about differences in firmness and feel. As far as firmness is concerned, I put the Casper at a 6 out of 10 and the Purple a 7 out of 10. I do think it depends on what you weigh. So if you weigh a little bit more, I think you're gonna think the Purple's a little bit softer. Just the way that gel works I've described earlier. And if you're lighter weight, I think you're gonna think it's firmer because you won't get that gel to collapse. So I say it's about a 6 out of 10 and then a 7 out of 10 for the Purple. As far as the feel is concerned, definitely a different feel, more of a standard kind of balanced foam feel from the Casper where you'll sink in but not too much, more of just a general foam feel that you're probably used to if you've been on a foam mattress before. The Purple is a unique kind of squishy feel that's firm yet pressure relieving at the same time. It's gonna be very, very responsive, so very bouncy as well. So definitely a unique feel, that's something you should know. All right, now I'm gonna talk through how I feel in different sleeping positions on both mattresses. Starting on my back, on the Casper, you can definitely feel that zone support, so it's a little bit firmer when you sleep on your back, and pretty good match for me there. However, on the Purple, it's a very, very good match. So the gel collapses underneath my butt and then stays flat and supportive across the rest of my body. So I'd probably prefer the Purple for back sleeping personally. Switching on to my side now, on the Casper, very good match for me there, about a 6 out of 10 firmness, a little bit softer than average, very good pressure relief overall. And then switching to the Purple, it's pretty good match for me there. I do feel a little bit of firmness. I don't think I quite get that gel to collapse underneath my shoulders and hips as much as I would if I were a bit heavier, so that's something to note. Probably prefer the Casper for side sleeping. Switching on to my stomach now, Casper is pretty good. You can definitely feel that zone support. I would probably want something just a little bit firmer, however. Switching on to the Purple now, very good fit there. So just the way that gel works, it stays flat and supportive, very firm feeling as well when you're on your stomach. So I'd probably prefer, for stomach sleeping, the Purple mattress. In Mattress Clarity, we love our pressure map testing because it shows you exactly how well every mattress leaves pressure. So I get down on a pressure map, lie down on my back, side, and stomach. You see anywhere from blue to no pressure, all the way up to red to high pressure. What really matters is these side sleeping results. So if you throw those up here, you'll see that the purple does have some red. There is some pressure. I think that's just from the way that the gel works. I don't get that gel to collapse as much. Perhaps if I were a bit heavier, it would look a little bit differently, a little bit more pressure relieving. But in this case, this shows that, at least for me, that the Casper relieves pressure a little bit better.
Hey guys, Martin here to offer a different perspective. So I'm a larger person than Joe. Joe is 5'9", 160. I'm 6'7", 230. I'm much larger than him. And if you're looking for a mattress, you do want to think about your size and your weight. It definitely comes into play when finding the right mattress for you. So I want to give my perspective with these two mattresses. So first off, we have the Casper mattress. Now, for me, it felt like a 7 out of 10 in terms of firmness, firmer than Joe thought. It's because I'm pressing further into the Casper, feeling a bit more firmness than he did. But starting on my back, it is a very, very good match for me. That zone support, holding up my lumbar area, my hips sink in the right amount, very nice for back sleeping. Moving to my side, I'm feeling a little bit more pressure than Joe did on my shoulders and my hips. That being said, still a decent match for me as a side sleeper. Moving to my stomach though, definitely supportive enough overall. I'm getting enough support on my hips. I'm not bowing in there. Now moving over to the purple, Joe thought this was close to a 7 out of 10. I thought it was closer to a 6.5 out of 10. Now this is pretty rare because usually I find mattresses to be firmer than Joe did, but with the purple, I'm actually collapsing this comfort grid more than he does, feeling less pressure than he does. So when I'm on my back, fantastic match for me, hip sink in the right amount, but the rest stays flat and supportive. Moving to my side, the gel collapses under my shoulders and my hips, good pressure relief there. Moving to my stomach, good overall support. So what does that mean? I think if you're a heavier back sleeper, both could work for you. Heavier side sleeper, I personally prefer the purple. Heavier stomach sleeper, both could also work for you.
If you sleep with a partner, there's two additional things you're going to want to consider when looking at a mattress. It's motion transfer and edge support. Motion transfer is basically if your partner's moving around on that side of the bed, is that motion going to be isolated or transfer over to you and possibly wake you up at night? Edge support is basically can you sit or sleep towards the edge of the bed without feeling like you're going to fall off. Now, as far as motion transfer is concerned, I would give the advantage to Casper. It does have memory foam in it. I think that's why it isolates motion just a little bit better. I'd probably give the edge support advantage to Purple. It does have this extra edge support system that kind of prevents that rolling off the bed feeling. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for, which one of these two mattresses is going to be right for you? All right, as far as who should get the purple, I think if you're a back sleeper, it's definitely a more supportive feel in my opinion. So if you sleep on your back, I would probably go with the purple. Also, if you sleep on your stomach, just the way that gel works, it's a little bit firmer, a little bit more supportive overall, and I think stomach sleepers will really like the purple. Also, if you just want something that just feels a little bit firmer, definitely go with the purple. I think most people would agree that the purple is just a little bit firmer of a feel overall. As far as who should pick the Casper, I think if you want something just a little bit softer, I would definitely go with the Casper in that case. Also, if you're a side sleeper, I personally think it relieves pressure better than the purple does. I didn't really get the gel to collapse as much with the purple mattress, so I'd probably go with the Casper if you're a side sleeper. And if you just prefer a more traditional foam mattress, that's definitely what the Casper provides. All right, that's basically it. These are two very popular mattresses that are very good, and I think a lot of people are gonna like them. Hopefully the decision's more clear to you. But if for some reason it's not, you can just leave a comment below. I can even give you a personal recommendation. I do read and reply back to every single comment on YouTube, so just leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you're just getting started in your mattress buying journey, definitely check out mattressclarity.com. If you wanna see a full list of my top picks, simply Google Mattress Clarity Best Mattress. Once again, let me know if you have any questions.